stream to start? Okay, so you just point to me when it's time for me to go. Welcome to our 2025 Youth Tour competition. If you want to come take your seats, we will get this party, or at least the dinner portion of this party, started. I'm thrilled to be your host this evening. My name is Autumn McMahon, and I'm our Vice President of Member Engagement. I get the privilege of working with the team who plans this event for all of you. If you have never been to this event, be prepared to be blown away. I was telling the contestants earlier today, we had more applicants this year than we have had for at least 5 years, blowing our pre-COVID numbers out of the water. So not only will you be impressed by their presentations today, but the mere fact that these students are here today shows how excellent they really are. I would ask that everyone remember to silence your cell phones so that nothing distracting happens when we have the students up here. And I would ask you to stand and please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Do we have a flag on the screen? I think we're going to have to wing it here. There we go. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And if you'll remain standing, I'll invite one of our Board of Trustees members, Bob Usry, to lead us in our invocation.
We know that's not the real picture because the wind's really blowing out there. Anyway, bow your head and pray with me, please. Lord, thank you so much for what you do in our lives. Thank you for this group of people here, Lord. Just help this be the greatest night ever. These young people that are here competing, you know what, Lord, just ask that you help them to relax and just calm their nerves and help them to be able to deliver and do the best job they possibly can. You know what, Lord, we are so grateful that they're here and grateful for the co-op and employees and staff and our members are so important to us. We sure love you, Lord. We ask that you bless this food, nourish our body, and bless the hands that made it. You're a good God. We love you. Amen.
Thank you very much, Bob. You guys can all be seated. And the food is set out in the hallway out here. I would ask that you allow us to let our contestants get up and get their food first. So contestants, go ahead and get up and walk out to this hallway right here and grab your food. And as soon as the last one of them is out the door, the fastest table to go out there is next for food. So go ahead and feel free to follow them out. You can come out this door and then just grab your food and come back in. And we'll reconvene here in about 30 minutes. Thank you. Welcome back, everyone. We are so excited to get this show on the road just about. Before we do anything else, I want to introduce you to our CEO, Patrick Grace. Patrick is in his 25th year at OEC. He's been in his current role for 10 years, and when he is not helping us remodel our building, which I hope you'll have a chance to see at some point in the future, he is handling his son Jennings and is very into CrossFit as well. So welcome, Patrick Grace.
Thank you, Autumn. We may have to get a shorter podium here. You can barely see over it. I'll keep my remarks short. I will probably be the least impressive person you hear speak tonight. And so just welcome to OEC. Welcome to this wonderful facility. This facility as it is here is just a couple years old. I think this is the second or third year we've done the youth tour in this space, and we've made improvements over the years. I think it looks fantastic, and I think everyone's in for just a really great night. For the contestants that are about to go, Bob prayed for everyone to be calm and peace, and it's gonna be a great night. I think this is my 24th year attending these, and the speakers are always amazing. And at the end we'll the judges will go. We'll do winners, and there's two things you'll hear all about this. But there's two paths as far as what you won tonight. Actually, everyone that made it this far is a winner, and you'll have the DC trip, which is kind of the fun trip. The RILA is more kind of a development, and you might think about which one you'd rather have, because I know if I was a 17-year-old electrical engineer, I have an engineering background, introvert, I would much prefer to go and do a week getting developed and go have fun and have to talk to everybody. So with that, I'll turn it back over to Autumn to kick off, but thank you for coming. And at OEC, we really want to lean in and develop our youth, and that's what you see tonight, and hopefully you all enjoy it tonight. So thank you.
I have to digress for just a minute about Patrick, because I told you that he's been the CEO for 25 years. Also, he's been married for 25 years. So Patrick graduated from college, married his wife, Kelly, who's here with us in the back, and then got a job at OEC all within like a month. Is that right? Yeah. He was motivated. He knew what he wanted, and he locked it down. So we would be remiss if we didn't take a moment to introduce our guests and judges and board today. I want to start by introducing you to our wonderful board of trustees. This is a group of men and women who spend so many hours every month and lots of learning and education, making sure that they're guiding OEC Electric and Fiber on the right path. So if you'll allow me, when I say your name, if you'll stand and wave, please. Bob Usry and his wife, Ellen. Our assistant Sorry, Bob. Cut him off. Our Assistant Secretary Treasurer, Mike Argo. Our Vice President, Ronnie Grover, and his wife, Carol. Our Secretary Treasurer, John Jensen, and his wife, Maggie. Ronnie Tharp and his wife, Rhonda. And last but certainly not least, Danny Drake and his wife, Kayla. I now want to take some time to thank our incredible judges here on the front table. You'll hear a little bit more about them, and you can certainly read about them in your program. But this group of 3 people have spent their lives advocating for children and advocating for a better society. First is Casey Shepard, who's the current director of Farm and Ranch Programming and Radio Oklahoma Ag Network. If you'll please stand. Second, we have the Honorable Danny Sterling from Oklahoma House District 27. And finally, we have Megan Lawrence, who's the manager of Member Services and Marketing with Rural Electric Cooperative. It took me longer to say your title than it took you to stand. And of course, none of our students would be here, not only without the support of their families and mentors, but also the teachers who dedicate their lives to making not just their lives better, but everyone's lives better. If you're a teacher, would you please stand and allow us to applaud you, please? Tonight is going to be a great night, and we have worked really hard to put this event on for you. No one has worked harder than who is going to explain our contest and scoring explanation. Carrie, if you'll come up here. Carrie, this is her first youth tour event to spearhead, and she has done an exemplary job, and she'll tell you a little bit about what to expect.
Hello. Well, thank you guys for being here tonight, and I very much appreciate you allowing your children to take this jump, I should say. So this year I did this contest different, and I'm sure you all know someone who has been on the youth tour and can tell amazing stories about it. So this year I really truly believe that confidence and professionalism and how you're able to just go out, no matter what you do, go out into the world and just make a difference and just stand tall. And so this year I did a speech contest, which again deviates from what we've done previous. But again, I wanted it to be a situation to where the young people are able to, because look around, this is kind of daunting, but they're able to get up in front of a crowd and let their feelings and their thoughts be clear and known. So how we're doing it this year is they have already gone through a lot of hoops as it is. So I have my top 7 here, and so they are giving their speeches. And the presentation is 60% that the judges will consider, and then there will be a Q&A, and that will be considered for 40%. And again, just being able to kind of think on your feet. But again, I appreciate all of you being here tonight, and I hope to, if I haven't met you yet, I hope to. Thank you.
All right, contestants, you are now dismissed and can come right this way. Let's applaud them as they work out, or they walk out, so they don't have to walk out in silence. As Carrie mentioned, this is the scoring rubric. So if you would like to keep up and see if your scores match the judges' scores, you're welcome to do that. This is on the back of your program, and this is the order they will come out in. What you may not know is that not only were these students selected out of a large group of essay applicants, they also attended a speech workshop on a Saturday. These are not students that do not have things on their plate. So they gave us extra time to attend a speech workshop and did a phenomenal job learning. Just a little bit ago, Zoe and I, who you'll hear from in a little bit, we're teaching them about power poses. If you've not seen those, they're fantastic and require you to think of a pose that makes you feel powerful, and you hold it for 30 seconds. And there's a science behind that makes you brave, and it calms your body. So if you get nervous, feel free to do your own power pose. We had some Supermans, we had some Wonder Womans. I had a former colleague whose daughter would do a bear. So you hold this for 30 seconds, and she would do a bear before she walked in to take a test. Maybe don't do that. Okay. Carrie, are we ready for our first contestant? Okay. Our first contestant is Ava Duarte. Ava Duarte.
Hi, I'm Ava. Living in a first world country in the monumental year of 2025, it's hard to imagine not having the basic things like food, electricity, and clothing. Without the help of cooperatives, going without these things will become a common occurrence amongst the common man in rural areas. Rural areas consist mostly of middle and low income families, with the exception of a few. Worrying about money is customary to the average rural family. There are groceries to be bought and bills to be paid and places to be, and the list is never ending. There are so many things essential to a standard way of life, and almost all of those things cost money. With the help of cooperatives, communities like mine are granted an increased quality of life due to the decreased need to worry about money. Today, I'm going to be talking about the different types of cooperatives, the impact cooperatives have on education, and the origin of cooperatives in America. First, I'm going to talk about the different types of cooperatives. As I just stated, there are many different types of cooperatives, from education to electric to agriculture to consumer. Cooperatives are superior due to their economic inclusivity and drive to please members and communities. Living in as small a town as Dibble, Oklahoma, agricultural cooperatives are a necessity to our farms and farmers. Agricultural or farm cooperatives strengthen the numerous farms in my community in many ways. Farmers are able to buy things like seeds and fertilizer for a much lower price. In addition to this, farmers uniting into a union decreases the effects of any potential harms that could come their way, like weather tragedies and significant price reductions. Another type of cooperative, electric cooperatives, like Oklahoma Electric Cooperative, or OEC, makes electricity and internet more affordable for people who may not be able to afford it otherwise. Not only do they make electricity more affordable, they also assist members in ways big corporations with lists and lists of customers can never. Furthermore, there are education cooperatives like Homeschool Co-op, which is a program where homeschool families come together to create an educational environment for homeschool students. While on the topic of education cooperatives, let's take a look at the impact cooperatives have on education. Since the pandemic in 2020, there has been a drastic increase in online school and homeschool attendees. With this switch, a large percent of these students have likely come in contact with some sort of cooperative. In the fall of 2022, I was one of the many students that joined online school. While my mom was at school teaching and my siblings were at school learning, I was at home joining my daily Zooms and getting as much work done as possible. However, there were a couple times where I had to call in the people of Oklahoma Electric Cooperative to come to my house and fix my internet. Luckily, they were always quick and cooperative and did whatever needed to be done. Anybody who has done online school in a rural area has likely come across similar problems and had the help of their local cooperative to assist them. While some, like myself, join online school, others join homeschool. Co-op programs are offered to homeschool students, and those who choose to attend are making use of one of the many cooperatives in their area. Attending a co-op gives students the opportunities to meet people their age who also live homeschool lifestyles. It also gives these students the opportunity to learn outside of their home. Education cooperatives are offered to a wide variety of students every single day. Now let's take a look at the origin of cooperatives in America. Dating back to the Great Depression, consumer cooperatives have helped struggling people by providing necessities at lower prices. During the Great Depression, consumer cooperatives provided communities dealing with poverty with cheaper housing, food, and clothes. With the support of the New Deal in the 1930s, cooperatives provided 50% of farm and rural areas with low-cost electricity. Cooperatives that came out of the New Deal and the Rural Electrification Administration, REA, established by Franklin D. Roosevelt in 1935, made huge differences in needy rural areas back then and continue to do so today. In conclusion, cooperatives strengthen rural areas by opening up opportunities to a wide set of people. There are many different types of cooperatives ranging from education to agriculture. Cooperatives go back many, many years during a great time of need, the Great Depression, and continue to help the people in need today. Are there any questions?
So, in doing this project, what was one fact that you learned about cooperatives?
I was not aware that cooperatives were member-based until learning that during this. That cooperatives affect a variety of people and not just one set of people. They have given me electricity and internet, which I use every single day. So, is that all? Thank you.
Up next, we have Madeline Williams. Madeline Williams.
How's everyone doing tonight? I hope so. All right, so my name is Madeline Williams, and tonight I am here to present my essay over on how cooperatives strengthen our communities. Cooperatives are very involved in the communities around us. They are member-owned and usually give back to the communities with the profits they make rather than having to pay back investors. OEC donates to great organizations to help those in need, as well as many youth organizations, such as the Youth Tour. In today's world, the need for strong, interconnected communities has never been greater. Cooperatives, or co-ops, offer a unique model that strengthens local economies in a sense of solidarity, democracy, and shared responsibility. In the United States alone, there are more than 30,000 cooperatives. That's right, 30,000. And these cooperatives provide more than $700 billion to our economy. I think that's pretty great for them to be supporting youth to make sure that we have very good success towards our futures. By promoting collective ownership in decision-making, cooperatives empower individuals, whether in business, housing, agriculture, or even social services. Co-ops provide a means for people to collaborate for their mutual benefit, creating positive effects that extend throughout our community. One of the most direct ways that cooperatives strengthen our communities is by fostering local economic development. Cooperatives are owned and operated by their members who have a say in how the business is run. Cooperatives ensure that wealth is more evenly distributed within the community. Members often reinvest their earnings locally, supporting other small businesses and community projects. In addition to fostering local economic development, cooperatives also promote a sense of shared ownership and responsibility, which is reflected in their democratic decision-making processes. Cooperatives are built on the principle of democratic decision-making, where each member has an equal say in the direction and management of the organization, regardless of their financial investment. This structure empowers individuals to take ownership of decisions that affect lives and their community. This sense of collective responsibility creates an environment where people feel more connected and engaged with one another. In a traditional business, decisions are often made with a small group of executives or shareholders with little to no input from the broader community. In contrast, co-ops encourage transparency and participation at every level. This democratic approach ensures that decisions reflect the collective values and the needs of the members, which can range from ensuring fair wages to promoting sustainable environment practices. Furthermore, Cooperatives often provide a platform for individuals to acquire leadership skills, increase civic participation, and empowering people to take on other leadership roles within their community. By engaging in cooperative governance, members learn to work collaboratively, make decisions through consensus building, and resolve conflicts in constructive ways. Beyond the democratic governance structure, cooperatives also play a crucial role in building social network that strengthens the community. Cooperatives help build social networks, the networks of relationships, trust, and cooperation that hold a community together. In a co-op, members share a common purpose and mutual interest, which naturally promotes a sense of camaraderie and solidarity. This network of shared responsibility is essential for building stronger, more resilient communities. The relationships formed within co-ops often extend beyond the walls of the cooperative itself. By working together for a common goal, members forge stronger social ties and develop a sense of belonging, which ultimately contributes to the overall well-being of the community. Furthermore, co-ops have a stronger community-oriented focus. They tend to prioritize not only the community, but also making sure that individuals are well financially. For instance, many worker co-ops engage in volunteer work, donate to local charities, or offer educational programs. This community-engaged approach makes co-ops powerful agents of social change, addressing the issues such as poverty, food insecurity, and a lack of access to services. Cooperatives are more supportable than many other business models because their focus is on long-term success rather than short-term profit maximization. In a cooperative, the goals are typically centered around maintaining affordable goods and services, ensuring fair wages for the workers, and serving the needs of the community. When profit is not the sole motivator, co-ops are better positioned to prioritize the well-being of their communities over the financial fluctuations. This stability makes them an important pillar of support, especially in times of crisis or economic instability. This community-oriented focus not only fosters social change, but also enables cooperatives to directly address critical needs within their communities. Cooperatives often arise in response to unmet needs within the community, and their primary goal is to provide access to essential services that might not be otherwise available. For example, agriculture cooperatives allows farmers to receive fair prices and access to the larger markets they may not be able to receive or be able to get access to individually. By pooling resources and efforts, co-ops can tackle complex problems that might be too large for individuals to solve alone. Because co-ops are often deeply rooted in their communities, they are often uniquely positioned to understand and address the specific needs of their members. Co-ops provide a model for the communities to find local solutions to their most pressing challenges. Cooperatives are a powerful tool for strengthening the communities by fostering economic empowerment, democratic governance, social capital, sustainability, and access to essential services. Throughout collective ownership and decision-making, co-ops create environments where people are not just consumers or workers, but active participants in shaping the future of their community. As co-ops continue to grow in popularity, they offer a hopeful alternative to traditional business models over profits and strengthen the very fabric of the communities they serve. In a world where many are increasingly disconnected from one another, cooperatives offer a powerful reminder of the importance of cooperation, solidarity, and shared responsibility in building a better future for all. Join the cooperative movement today and be a part of this transformative force that empowers communities, promotes sustainability, and fosters a sense of shared responsibility. Together, we can build a future where the people have a direct hand in shaping their economic and social destinies. Get involved with a cooperative near you, such as OEC, and you can help strengthen the bonds that make us all stronger. Si se puede.
Thank you for your presentation. What's the number one thing you hope that we take away from your presentation about co-ops?
The number one thing that I hope that you take from the co-ops of my speech is how informative and how long I took to write this essay, and that I hope you really consider me for going on the youth tour, because I would really enjoy to be on that youth tour, and I would proudly represent our state of Oklahoma.
What is one thing or activity that OEC sponsors that you did not know before this contest?
I'd probably have to say sponsoring farmers and helping them get access to larger resources.
What is one fact that you think most folks do not know about co-ops?
I think most folks don't actually know what a co-op is. If I'm gonna be honest, I kind of didn't really know either until I did some research. But now I'm realizing that they're very important in our world, and I think more people should know. So if I try and have a chance to become on the youth tour, I will make sure that more people in my community will know about what a cooperative is. Thank you.
Our next contestant is Caitlin Seja. Caitlin Seja.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Caitlin Seja. Today I want to focus on the significant impact of cooperatives on us as Oklahomans. Electric cooperatives in Oklahoma provide electricity to more than 1.1 million people. This number does not include the other services electric cooperatives provide or the other types of cooperatives that support Oklahomans. Notably, cooperatives provide significant support to rural communities like my own that would not receive such assistance. Cooperatives in Oklahoma support us through their business model, diverse services, local dedication, and undeniable benefits. Let's dive into these together. First, cooperatives follow a business model design that benefits members through services and influence over company policy. Cooperatives are local member-owned businesses predominantly focused on collaboration and community building. Cooperatives are owned by their members, which allows them to more freely act on behalf of their communities. Cooperative businesses give members one vote each. This ensures equality in decision-making regardless of financial contribution. Cooperatives are not-for-profit organizations. All funds that cooperatives use go towards essentials in maintaining business, and everything that is not used is divided up and given back into members. Now that we've covered business model, I would like to talk about the diverse services cooperatives provide. These services include, but are not limited to, utilities, agriculture, housing, finance, food, healthcare, and education. Utility cooperatives provide communities with water and electricity. Water cooperatives own sewage treatment plants, transfer wastewater to be processed, maintain pipes, and distribute clean water throughout their communities. Whereas electric cooperatives own and maintain their local electric generators and power lines. Additionally, agriculture cooperatives offer supplies, advertisement, processing, and transportation for crops. Agriculture cooperatives are often crucial to the livelihood of rural communities. On the other hand, housing cooperatives provide their members with apartments or houses. Finance cooperatives offer their members banking services like loans, checking accounts, and savings accounts. Food cooperatives supply communities with local produce. Healthcare cooperatives offer prescriptions, health insurance, and cover copays. Lastly, education cooperatives provide students with work experience and connections within their desired fields. Now that we've covered diverse services cooperatives provide, I would like to go over the dedication of cooperatives to their communities. Oklahoma Electric Cooperative, or OEC, supplies momentous support to my community. OEC supplies the electricity that powers my town and ensures that breakers and power lines are quickly restored. OEC has generously provided sponsorships, grants, and scholarships to my community. For example, sponsorships from OEC have made construction projects in my community. Grants from OEC have supplied agricultural tools to farms and educational materials to my school. And scholarships from OEC have assisted several students I know in pursuing further education. OEC works to educate people on renewable energy and energy efficiency. They encourage people in my community to learn and be involved in green energy and renewable resources. Now that we've gone over cooperatives' dedication to their communities, I would like to talk about the undeniable benefits cooperatives offer to their communities. These benefits include personalization, economic growth, low-cost access, better quality products, job opportunities, educational resources, and increased community involvement. Cooperatives prioritize the needs of their communities, guaranteeing that services are tailored to fit the community rather than the general population. Cooperatives promote significant economic growth by using products that are made by members or member-owned businesses. This circulates money within the community. Maintaining a nonprofit business within a community allows cooperatives to sell services for exceedingly low prices. Cooperatives produce higher quality products than for-profit companies due to their higher standards. These standards are from collaboration with members and other cooperatives to improve manufacturing methods. Additionally, they offer members valuable business advice and reference data to help their businesses thrive. Cooperatives ensure that small schools get proper supplies and rural students get the same opportunities as urban students. The voting practices of cooperatives cultivate a sense of responsibility and ownership within members, inspiring them to give back to their communities. Now that we've covered how cooperatives in Oklahoma support us through their business model, diverse services, local dedication, and undeniable benefits, I want to conclude how cooperatives play a crucial role in strengthening communities. These organizations have fostered a strong sense of responsibility within my community. These organizations, cooperatives have enabled members of my community to access necessary resources, build successful businesses, and pursue further education. Through their affordable, encompassing services and active social engagement, cooperatives have promoted a thriving and sustainable economy within my community. I am deeply grateful for the dedication of Oklahoma Electric Cooperative and other local cooperatives, as well as for growth, the opportunity, stability, and collaboration they have instilled within my community.
What was the most interesting thing you learned about the cooperative business model?
I didn't know how much cooperatives really gave back. I thought they were just like another company at first, you know. I didn't know how much they really focused in on their members and focused on giving them the voice that they need to like really get what they need for their communities.
What's the number one thing you hope that we take away from what you presented today about co-ops?
I hope everyone here takes away how useful cooperatives can be, and that we, get active and we go be a part of our own cooperatives, and just, how active they are in the community. I think we really need that. So just, reach out to your cooperative.
What's the easiest way to explain to someone who has no concept of what a co-op is?
So, corporations are owned by big businessmen. Cooperatives are focused on being owned by the members, so that you're not being controlled by someone who doesn't have any idea what your situation is. So just be like, you get to be a part of the company. That's all it is. You get to be active in what happens with your electricity, or who owns your housing, or your food, or things like that. Thank you, guys.
Our next contestant is Tiffany Vartanian. Tiffany Vartanian.
Hello, everyone. I'm Tiffany Vartanian, and thank you all for taking time out of your day to be here. Over 80 years ago, America's farmers and rural citizens came together to tackle this pressing issue that for-profit companies refuse to address, which is bringing electricity to those rural communities. I mean, out in the middle of nowhere, those for-profit companies didn't really think it was necessary, I guess, to take their stuff out there and help those rural citizens. I mean, they were living in the dark without electricity for who knows how long, and they just had to work with that because not everyone wants to live in the city and live where those big companies provide electricity. So that's a great thing. Sorry, guys. That's a great thing about OEC is they're all for helping those people who live out basically in the middle of nowhere and they don't have the opportunity to get on those big company electrics. And OEC, they listen to their customers. They are community-based and they want to make their customers' lives easier and do whatever they can to help their customers. They're very big on just helping the community. Where we live, all we have out there is OEC. That's it. There's nothing else to get on. So without OEC, we would have been doomed, basically. OEC, they have monthly meetings for their board members and everything, and they all come together and talk about what they can and will and won't change to help those communities out there do better and what they can do to make their lives easier. But they also have once-a-year meetings, annual meetings, where their customers and the communities can all come together, and they get to have a meeting as well and tell them maybe what they want to change and things they could do to better themselves. And I feel like OEC really listens to that well, and they are always on it, and they want to help their customers as much as they can. They want to make their lives so much easier. And I just think that's so great because OEC is a nonprofit. They're not always worried about just making their money and making all this money that they can. Like these other big electrical companies, if they're making their money, they're going to be happy. I mean, they do care about their customers to a point, but it's not everything just to make their lives easier. If they're making their money, they're going to be happy with it. But OEC, they're not always worried about just making money. They just want to make their customers' lives easier, and they can do whatever they want to help them. OEC is ran as a democratic governance, so they like to take from their customers. They like to hear what they have to say. It's not just owned by one person. Not just one person runs this. There's not one person that says, you're going to do this and we're going to do this, and that's how it is. They want to hear from everyone. They want everyone to have a say in how things are ran and what they're going to do about it. And that, I think, is so awesome because how many things do you get to have a say in your electric and all that stuff? Like, you don't just get to do that every day, and I think that's not come by often. So to get a say in how your electricity or your fiber is ran is so great because those big companies, they don't go out and ask their customers how it's going and how they're doing. They, like I said, if they're making their money, they're going to be happy. And so I just think that's so awesome because OEC is so different from all those other companies. I mean, they are just great. And so in conclusion, I mean, OEC they're so based on just making their customers happy, making their lives easier. That is their main concern. They want to do anything and everything they can to help these rural communities. And without them, like out where I live and out where all these other people want to live in the country and not have to live in the city, we would be living in the dark and we would have no electricity. Thank y'all.
What is your favorite fun fact that you have learned out of this project?
I didn't realize, like, OEC, like, they did more than, like, just providing electricity and stuff. I mean, they, like I said, they do these youth tours and they help these big farmers and everything. Like, they support everyone. It's not just about providing electricity to everyone, and I didn't realize, like, how much more they expand than just providing electricity to people.
Tiffany, you seem very passionate about your presentation here. So my question is, what's the number one thing that you hope that we take away from what you presented about co-ops tonight?
I just think it's so great how, a co-op is ran. I like the fact that they like to include their customers in what they do and that they're not just so self-absorbed. And I think it's so great that they ask the community about what they want and what changes they need to make.
What is one thing about OEC that makes them different than other utilities?
Well, they're a nonprofit, of course, and so I think that's honestly the most important thing. They aren't worried about just raking in money all the time. They just want to do what is best for the community, and there's people who don't get the chance to be on a big company like that, and I just think that's so great. Thank y'all.
Our next contestant is Skyly Turner. Skyly Turner.
I don't know. Okay, yeah, it's on. Hi, I'm Skyly Turner, and I'm just gonna start it off. Have y'all ever walked into a classroom and just seen someone there that's not really from your school, and you just think to yourself, well, here comes another lecture or a boring story? Well, that's what happened to me a few weeks ago, and I didn't really find it boring. I found it quite interesting. We were told about cooperatives, OEC specifically, and how they were giving us a chance to go to Washington, D.C. for their youth tour event. Sorry, I'm rustling the mic. And I heard that, and all I had to do was like a 750-word essay or something. And I thought to myself, well, what's the worst that could happen? So I decided to give it a good old try. So that's what I'm here to talk to you about today. But first of all, what even is a cooperative? Well, a cooperative, according to Wikipedia, the most trustworthy of sources, is an autonomous association of persons united voluntarily to meet their economic, social, and cultural needs and aspirations through jointly owned and democratically controlled enterprises. Now, that's a long definition, but in the gist of things, it's just a business that's run by its members. And, well, OEC provides their members and communities with a multitude of opportunities, many of which I will talk about, like youth tour, grants, scholarships, sponsorships. They do the energy camps and a couple educational programs. And get on the topic of grants, they do so many grants for their opportunities by raising money like in Operation Roundup, which, if you didn't know, is where OEC members can voluntarily round up their electrical bills, and that extra money gets pulled into a foundation fund for, well, basically just to distribute around the service areas. And on average, it actually rounds up to around $18,000 per month. In fact, over the last 2 decades, there's $5 million that has been awarded to local programs. And a cool thing about it is you don't even have to be a member of the OEC. You just have to live in their service area. I think that's really neat personally. And, they also help develop leadership. Another opportunity they have for their youth in local communities are energy camps, which is a camp for 8th graders, 4 days, where they go and they basically teach these 8th graders about leadership and teamwork and things like that. And they also do the youth tour, which is what I'm currently doing now, where high school juniors have the chance to go to Washington, D.C. through an essay contest, which, like I said, is what I'm doing now. And they also have a lot of scholarship opportunities, which I am personally very excited for. If I'm so sorry, y'all. Like the Youth Tour Alumni Scholarship it's exactly as it sounds. It's a scholarship that's given to their Youth Tour alumni, and I think it's like over $100,000 like is annually rewarded to Youth Tour alumni. They also have the engineering. It's definitely engineering. It's I've lost my place, but they have the Leadership Summit Scholarship and I remember what it's called, the Engineering Future Scholarship, which those are like 3 of them that they have, which is a great opportunity. And they also have a multitude of programs and solutions to help reduce your energy costs. For their home energy efficiency program that allows people to sign up for free home energy audits, which you have an expert come in and they'll check for leakages and see how your home seals heat and air. And they also have a podcast called the Current Buzz Podcast, which they also give tips on how to reduce your energy costs. And also, just overall, they have great opportunities for their members and communities, and they just do so much for the people, regardless of their membership. All I really had to do was look at their website. That's where most of my information comes from. And I could see what all the OEC contributes to Oklahoma communities. And I discovered so much about what cooperatives do and how they genuinely support their communities. They support their communities by working hard, providing jobs, giving scholarships, providing grants, teaching the youth and giving them opportunities, as well as, oh my goodness, sorry, and as well as telling the members how they can save on energy costs. The Oklahoma Electric Cooperative makes our states and communities better every day. I, for one, am grateful to be in the service area, and I just wanted to extend a special thank you to those who work in the Oklahoma Electric Cooperative and those who work with them. Do y'all have?
Scully, you told us a lot about what you've learned about the co-ops. So what's the number one thing you hope that we take away from your presentation tonight?
Just that cooperatives as themselves, they provide so many opportunities, whether it be through community service or giving opportunities to youth or older generations, like maybe you're not in high school or you're just about to go into college and they have scholarships or sponsorships or grants that you can apply for your own projects and stuff.
If you're chosen to go to Washington, D.C., how will you best represent OEC?
Well, how will I best represent OEC? That's a good question. Well, they stumped me on that one. I think how I'd best represent them is I would be respectful, first of all. It's very important to be respectful and to be grateful for the opportunity that they give you and just like to see how things go and just, yeah.
What is the most interesting fact that you learned about the cooperatives?
Ooh, that's another good question. I really gotta think about it because I went deep into their website. I was looking. I think the Current Buzz podcast, I found it very interesting that they had a podcast. And I was like, I just found it really interesting, honestly.
Our next contestant is Jennings Johnson. Jennings Johnson.
Hello, my name is Jennings Johnson. Gardens thrive by having a rich, diverse environment, with many different plants and organisms all benefiting and supporting each other. Similarly, communities become stronger and more resilient by embracing diversity, whether that's people, ideas, or contributions. Cooperatives are an excellent example of this. A cooperative is a business where people work together to meet a common goal while simultaneously respecting the inputs and values of the other members. A cooperative is a member-owned and democratically controlled business that run on the sole principle of shared responsibility and mutual benefit. This gives cooperatives the unique situation where everyone collaborates with one another and has an equal opportunity for success. Just like a healthy garden, communities depend on diversity, becoming more resilient, more successful by embracing different people, perspectives, and values. At the heart of a cooperation is active participation. It is through this participation that everybody has a voice in the decision-making. Members of a cooperative aren't just employees, they are equal stakeholders. This democratic structure gives them the power to direct the course of the business, as each person can contribute their ideas, voice their concerns, and make decisions that directly affect them. This kind of participation creates a sense of involvement and ownership, encouraging members to feel more invested in the cooperative success. By having a one-member, one-vote policy, this ensures that all voices are heard and the decisions are made honestly and fairly. When members are actively involved, it helps strengthen the bonds between all members. A cooperative creates trust, cohesion, and mutual respect among its members. Since everyone is working to meet a common goal, it creates an environment of collaboration rather than competition. Decisions are made to benefit the whole of the community, not just the owners or shareholders. By empowering everybody to have an equal say, a cooperative reflects the needs and values of the entire community. When each person's contributions and ideas are valued, the community grows stronger because members are more likely to support one another. But beyond the bonds that form among the members, cooperatives help contribute to social stability. They create jobs, they help support local economies, and they motivate members to back one another. Unlike a traditional business, where decisions are often driven by profit, cooperatives place the needs of the members first. This builds trust within the community. Profits are often shared with the community, reinvested back into the cooperative, or distributed among the members. This ensures that everybody benefits from the success of the cooperative. When profits are distributed, it creates a sense of security and trust among the members, as they aren't just worker bees. They are stakeholders, sharing in the rewards of their efforts. This sense of shared responsibility encourages members to collaborate, work together to achieve a common goal. But benefits of a cooperative go beyond financial gain. They also foster a sense of belonging and responsibility. Members collaborate to solve problems. They work together and make decisions. It is a collective effort that helps drive change. With everyone more in tune with one another's needs, it helps them meet the shared vision. The success of a cooperative is directly tied to the well-being of its members, creating an environment where individuals are encouraged to contribute their knowledge and skills. This collaborative approach not only fuels economic growth, but also nurtures personal development, helping individuals grow alongside the cooperative itself. So, in conclusion, cooperatives continue to gain traction around the world. They offer a powerful tool for strengthening communities. By encouraging participation and collaboration, cooperatives empower communities, making them more resilient, more connected, and more capable of meeting challenges. The cooperative model creates an environment in which both the members and community thrive. It's a unique way to build a more inclusive, supportive, and successful community. Just as plants and organisms contribute to the benefit of an ecosystem, cooperatives bring people together, working side by side to meet a common goal. But by doing so, they create a rich environment where everyone benefits and works together to make life better for all. This shows the power of collective action in creating and shaping a better, brighter future. Thank you.
What did you find most interesting when you were researching about cooperatives?
What I found most interesting about researching about cooperatives, it was like how many there are. Like different ones, I saw ones about like housing, electricity, agriculture. There were so many, and it was really interesting to see the different kinds.
Jennings, you gave us a lot of information about cooperatives tonight, so what would be the number one thing that you hope that we take away from your presentation about cooperatives?
What I would hope that you guys take away from this is how they affect communities, like how they make them stronger by just, adding to them. They really try and make them better by like everybody actively participating. They're trying to get everybody to work together to achieve a goal that they all want to benefit from.
So Jennings, now that you have all of this vast knowledge of co-ops, how are you going to share that going forward?
How am I going to share the knowledge? It's a great way to know like how your community works, knowing what different companies do and how it like benefits them. And it also shows that like not all companies are just there to make a profit. Some are there to actually help you. Thank you for your time.
Our next contestant is Emery Hayes. Emery Hayes.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for coming out, and my name is Emery. I'm excited to share with you guys about why I believe cooperatives build community. So imagine this. You live on a picture-perfect farm with plenty of animals, produce, and people you love. You have the resources to farm and supply food for your community and provide for your family. Working honestly, but yet you live without electrical power. Unfortunately, for many farmers and ranchers, this was their reality until 1937, when Oklahoma Electric Cooperative was formed. These remote citizens did not have access to the urban luxuries we do today, and many tasks and responsibilities were done with dim light provided by kerosene lamps. So investor-owned utility companies argued it was too expensive to string electricity lines to these isolated areas. So, for many years, farmers worked dawn to dusk to put food on our tables while facing challenging circumstances. But thankfully, Franklin D. Roosevelt was an advocate for remote citizens who lived in poverty. And in 1935, he established the Rural Electrification Administration. In 1936, Congress endorsed this action, providing long-term, low-cost loans to farmers, making rural electricity a reality. Then a group of farmers began to pioneer into the energy world, forming an electric cooperative in central Oklahoma. They held meetings and asked for support and commitment from their neighbors. Their hard work, determination, and boldness paid off. Once the group met all the requirements to acquire a loan from the Rural Electrification Administration, they became recognized as the OEC we know today. This formed a new era for farmers, a new hope, and a new way of life. The first power line installed by OEC stretched from Southern Noble to Highway 77 in Slaughtersville. At the end of 1938, over 260 miles of power lines were installed and activated, bringing power to 428 members. Ranchers had light, and farmers were thankful they were no longer in the dark. Now, early members of the cooperative movement probably did not foresee the immense impact the electric cooperative movement would have on rural Oklahoma. The economy was changed for the better because of electricity, providing major advancements in the agriculture industry and promoting progress in the remote sector. OEC pioneered rural electricity, bridging the gap for remote citizens. By prioritizing members' needs over profit, Oklahoma Electric Cooperative offers a sustainable and community-oriented solution to energy access. Oklahoma communities have enlarged and increased in economic growth. And one way we see this by is the cooperative providing many consistent and stable careers. Reliable and well-paying jobs not only provide stability for the regional workforce, but allow funds to stay local. Members contribute equability and democratically control the capital of their cooperative, creating a sense of shared responsibility. Simply, when the cooperative makes money, members make money. When our investments remain in our community, we better our businesses, our streets, and our shops. When you grow the cooperative, you grow your town and your people. Supporting families, fostering innovation, and additionally, the cooperative gives members a community. And a sense of solidarity is invaluable in times of crisis or during an economic downturn. People can rely on the support of OEC to weather the storm. Cooperatives in the state band together and assist in areas of times of need, displaying beautifully neighbors helping neighbors. Now, as for my family, we farm the land that has been in my family's name for 5 generations. Knowing that the cooperative supplied power to my family and cared means something to me. Today, society may not applaud farming, but I personally have seen the sacrifice farmers and ranchers make to put meat on our tables. Rain or shine, America can count on the hardworking farm families to brave the storm. I know I'm extraordinarily grateful for the cooperative that brought energy to my family. The cooperative prioritizes people over income. And thankfully, OEC has supplied our community with more than just electrical power. They have provided commonality, local benefits, and ruminative growth. As someone who lives in a rural area, I am beyond grateful for the brave farmers that banded together with courage and motivation to better rural living. Oklahoma Electric Cooperative has unified and strengthened the rural electric that we know today, creating sustainability and an easier way of life. The cooperative is essential to the state's economic growth, community well-being, and sustainability. OEC enables Oklahomans to work together and while improving our community. And in a world where individualism often dominates, the electric cooperative movement in Oklahoma stands as a testament to shared responsibility and collective effort. Thank you.
What is your favorite thing that you've learned about the way co-ops give back to your community?
My personal favorite thing is how they have enriched our community in supporting the youth while also volunteering and supporting small towns, because ultimately Oklahoma runs on the farmers, the oil companies, and the plumbers. We don't run off big corporations, we run on the small town hard workers. So that's been very fun to learn.
Emery, you've given us a lot of information and your opinion of co-ops tonight. So what's that one thing that you hope that we do take away from your presentation about cooperatives?
I hope that you all take away a deeper appreciation for the cooperative, what it simply means to have electricity. I mean, we can think about it, even 100 years ago, people who lived on my land didn't have electricity. That's impacted all of us, and our lives would be so much harder without the electrical power that we have today. So, yeah, thank you.
What was the most interesting fact that you learned about the co-op business model when you were researching?
I love that it's member-owned, member-invested, and it's all about the members and those who have power. It's not about the big wigs up in New York City, and I appreciate that it's a small town-oriented solution, and it models greatly an amazing business. Thank you, guys.
Can we give them all one more round of applause? I mean, just fantastic presentations. In just a moment, they're going to come walk out here and they can take a bow. They can sit at their tables with you. They can do a power pose. They can get a hug. I learned earlier that there's science behind a 6-second hug. Maggie Jensen told me that it calms your body down. So if your student is a little stressed, please give them a 6-second hug when they come sit with you. Come on out, guys. Let's give them one more round of applause. And with that, this is always the part of the evening where I'm really glad that I'm not a judge. So I am going to release Casey, Danny, and Megan to go into the boardroom and tally the scores. And as they are doing that, if anyone needs to take a quick restroom break, I'll give you about 2 minutes. And then come back.
Kylie Huff. I'm from Cookson Hills Electric Co-op. You know, this trip can seem a little bit daunting for just the average person, and I'll say that yes, it was at first, but once you get comfortable, start talking to the people around you, it definitely helps you to get into your comfort zone a little better. And even though, I'm more of a recluse, I kind of stay to myself most of the time, I kind of went into it with the mindset of nobody here knows me, I can be who I want to be here.
Hey, my name is Marcos De La Torre. I'm representing Northwestern Electric at Youth Tour, and I would definitely recommend applying for Youth Tour for many reasons. One reason is you get to see all these buildings that you usually see in history books. Like right now, we're at the U.S. Capitol, and it's massive. You meet a bunch of new people. You get to trade pins from people all over the country, not just your state, and it's just an overall great opportunity. Stuff you think you wouldn't see in a lifetime, you see it in a week, which is amazing.
Hi guys. Oh, can everybody hear me? Of how it went last summer, please.
Hi guys, I'm Zoe. I went to Washington last year with Youth Tour. I just have to say I am so impressed by all of your speeches. You guys did a very good job researching. I want everybody to know that Youth Tour is an unforgettable experience. Value the connections you make. Talk to people. It's a very important trip, and you'll come away with a lot of information, and I'm excited for all of you.
Good job, Zoe. Hi, everyone. My name is Justin Baker, and I also went on the Youth Tour last year. Throughout the youth tour, we got to experience a lot of things that we don't have in Oklahoma. So museums that have stuff from all over the world, and we got to meet people that we might not have otherwise. So our senators, and we actually got to meet we got to meet Langford and Mullen, which was pretty cool. We weren't supposed to meet Langford, but that happened. And then I liked it so much so that I'm actually going back for college for the next 4 years. So I'll be studying marketing at American University.
Hi, my name is Mackenzie. I am one of the lucky people that got to go experience RILA last year. RILA is a completely different experience than you will ever expect to have. You meet a ton of different people that are nothing alike. It's a bunch of people that have nothing in common that just get thrown into a camp, and you just get to spend the week bonding and having the best time of your life. I left here last year not confident in the fact that I was going to RILA. I thought I had lost, and I did not. Once I got to RILA, I realized that I got the better trip. I'm sure DC is great, but I truly believe that I got the better trip and that you will never experience anything like RILA. And I can talk your ear off about it all day and night if you ever want to talk about it.
All right, Patrick, will you come on up here? If Carrie, Patrick and Carrie will hand you your award as we call your name. And Patrick will shake your hands, and then please smile please walk over there. I lied, this is new. So if Carrie and Patrick will walk over there. You have the whole, it's in order. As I call your name, and I'm going to call these in order of your presentations. And I'll say your name and which award you have received. And if you will applaud, come over here and we'll take a beautiful picture. Ava, you are going to Youth Tour. Madeline, you are headed to RILA. Caitlin, you are headed to RILA. Tiffany, you're going to Youth Tour. Skyly, you're headed to RILA. Jennings, you're going to Youth Tour. And last but certainly not least, Emery, you're headed to Youth Tour. Thank you all so much for joining us. If we could, we ask that all of our recipients would come over here so we can get some group pictures, and Bob and Ellen Usry, if you will come over here as well. I have already told the students, you can go ahead while I'm talking. I've already told the students that if they are at your table, they get to either take the flowers home or choose their favorite person at the table to give the flowers to, so no pressure. If you do not have a student at your table, you're just going to have to arm wrestle to see who gets to take the flowers home. And I'll let Patrick bring us home.
Before everybody gets out of here, I just want to give a big thanks to Autumn. Let's give her and her team a round of applause. Carrie for her first one, officially. Great job. And thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you.
You're all free to get up. And once again, thanks to our judges as well. They did an awesome job. Be safe, and thank you for being here.